With that down, let's move on to this, shall we? This weekend was really about Inside Out 2. And we're going to discuss that in a little bit. But in the midst of the huge breakout success of Inside Out 2, there's also another little story that is being really overlooked. And that is the phenomenal second weekend of Bad Boys. Now, listen, I want to remind everybody that in a second weekend, the general thing that you're looking for here is a drop between 50 and 60%. That's a normal second weekend drop. If you're dropping anything more than 60%, then you're a little bit concerned, unless your opening weekend was like 150, 200, 300 million dollars, in which case that means almost everybody already saw it. You can expect a bigger second week drop off. But generally speaking, if you see more than a 60% drop, you're concerned. Anything less than a 50% drop, you're pretty damn excited. Check this out. The weekend chart just came out, and we'll cover the Inside Out stuff in a bit. Bad Boys Ride or Die took in $33 million on its second weekend, representing only a 41.6% drop.
It's pretty incredible. It's rare to see on something as big as that.
From a first week to second week, a 41% drop is rare.
Yeah.
It's not unprecedented. Of course it happens, but it's rare. That means Bad Boys Ride or Die has now taken in $214 million in 10 days at the theater. After a ridiculously successful opening weekend of $56 million. Only second in the franchise to the last one. And of course, a lot of people suspected it might be a lot less. They thought the after effects of the Will Smith slap, although that was now years ago, a lot of people wondered if the people would come back. They came back. And it turns out they've continued to come back. I think this tells us two things. One is a point we've already made, which is, for the most part, it kind of looks like the audience has gotten over the slap, which I'm happy about. The slap was stupid. There should be consequences. There were consequences. And now with consequences having been paid, it's time to let the guy move on. And move on he did. And he moved on to a $56 million opening weekend and now $214 million in just 10 days for a relatively small-ish kind of cop buddy movie, which is now doing very well. The second thing is that the word of mouth is going around. You only get to a point where you're only taking a 41% drop if two things are happening. Number one, people are going back for a second viewing. And number two, word of mouth gets out that, hey, you should really come see this. This is really quite good. Now, listen, I didn't love the first act of Bad Boys Ride or Die. I mean, I said it on our review, right? I actually didn't like the first act. I thought, oh no, this movie's going to be terrible. The first act, this is awful. And then it just really picked up from there. The second and third act were bonkers fun, and I ended up really enjoying this movie, having a good time with it. And when people leave a theater having had a really good time, they are, number one, more likely to come back, and number two, more likely to tell other people they should go see it too. And again, for the 41% drop, a 33, which, by the way, Ray, correct me if I'm wrong, but at a $33 million second weekend, I believe that Bad Boys' second weekend might have been bigger than Furiosa's first weekend.
Let me check that.
Because, I mean, maybe Furiosa got in the 40s. For some reason, I got it itching in my head that it actually might have made in the mid-20s. But what was the opening
for Furiosa?
For
26
Furiosa
was opening.
26. So Bad Boys Ride or Die made more money in its second weekend than Furiosa made in its first weekend, which is, if you told people that about a year ago, would have seemed inconceivable. Again, it might actually make sense that this happened, but good for them, man. Good for them.
You know what? This is where, being a Will Smith fan, we want to see him making news like this. You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
this is the news that
getting in the news cycle for the right reasons.
Yeah, and you know what? It's a good movie. I really liked it. Did you see it, Jonathan?
No, I haven't seen it yet. No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now, he was busy going to Dodger games.
Yeah. Right.
This weekend. But anyway, Good for Bad Boys, excellent for the box office. And what's even more impressive is that it had that tiny drop off and made $33 million when a frickin' juggernaut was coming through the box office, eating up all the box office dollars. But we're going to talk about that in just a little bit.
Good weekend for theaters.
Guys, we want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Liquid IV. You know, it seems like summer's just designed to make us thirsty, whether it's camping, hiking, playing sports, and staying hydrated is the key to making the most of every moment. Because summer requires extraordinary hydration that's built for everyday dehydrating moments. Liquid IV hydrates me with benefits like electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients. With 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, plus 8 vitamins and nutrients in a single stick, it's clearly why Liquid IV is the #1 powdered hydration brand in America. It has 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink. Just tear, pour, and live more. Just 1 stick plus 16 ounces of water hydrates better than water alone. With 8 vitamins and nutrients, non-GMO and free from gluten, dairy, and soy. There's no artificial colors or sweeteners, and it's got 4 delicious sugar-free flavors: white peach, green grape, raspberry melon, and lemon lime. So turn your ordinary water into extraordinary hydration with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use the code Campea at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code Campea at liquidiv.com. Guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Bad Boys Ride or Die didn't just have a great opening weekend. It had a spectacular second weekend. What does that say to you? Did you see the film? Did you enjoy it? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.